Okay. I guess I can try and see if I can save one. You know, it makes everybody smile.
Yeah, yeah. I was going to say life's going to be very difficult. Give it back. Who knows? Yes, she just left a little while ago.
I think for me, it's just like 2 family members arrive. Once they do, I'm stuck answering questions, and like it's hard for me.
Hello. Yay, we did it. Okay. Oh my gosh, what a hot mess express. Megan Geise, are you on, my love?
I am on here.
Okay, fantastic. I'm going to see if I can find you and make you the host.
Okay.
So that I can get my internet situation figured out. Megan is a coach in my downline. She is absolutely fabulous. I'm super excited to share her with you guys tonight. She has qualified for Elite for the 2nd time in a row. She was a full-time teacher as well as a softball coach, and I think she did pretty much every kind of coaching you can imagine to supplement her income. And she is going to teach you guys how she built her business to 6 figures over the last year by using time management and the small amounts of time she had. Now, she's going to teach you guys about time management stuff, but she's also going to teach you guys about duplication and how she makes this work for her team. So I'm super excited to have her pour into you guys, and I'm going to make her the host. Take it away, my love.
All right. I don't know if I'm the host yet, but everyone do me a huge favor and check your phone or your computer. Just make sure you're muted. Super grateful there's so many people on here, but I know it's like chaos when it's not muted. So just triple check. Everyone's muted. Everyone's good to go. Somebody's like running around with a little babe. Alyssa, I'm not the host yet. There we go. I'm good. Okay. I wonder if there's a way I can just mute. Okay, I clicked mute all, but we still have a couple of you that have some feedback. I feel awful. Okay. Shoot. I don't see who it is to be able to mute them. So I'm just going to go, and then hopefully they catch on that they just need to mute themselves. Okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to screen share with you guys and just kind of like walk you through what Alyssa said, like walk you through my process you know, just share the things with you. But before I do that, I always love to just let people know that I did work as a teacher. I was a middle school and high school math teacher. My husband's a business teacher, and I coached volleyball. I did softball. I used to do girls basketball. So I like literally did all of the things. And then I also took calculus and like online math courses while I was working my business. And so time management is something that I think at first I was like, you know, going back and forth about, but then I feel like it just kind of absorbed me and I just kind of went with it. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of screen share with you guys so you guys can see my presentation, just so you can have kind of some visual with that part. And like I said before, you guys, I'm a teacher, so please feel free to ask any questions in the chat as we're going along. Do me a huge favor. Someone give me like a thumbs up, you guys can see. Yes, okay. I have one more person that I'm just getting a lot of feedback. Someone's not muted, sorry. It's so hard to talk. I just have a lot of feedback. think we're good now. All right, so here's the deal. A lot of you guys are, possibly doing this business full time. A lot of you may still be doing your career job full time. For me, I actually never intended on doing Beachbody full time. I wanted to be a teacher. I had the rule of 88 ready to go. I knew like the exact moment that I could retire and that I could go all in, with my husband and stuff as teachers. And so we had the rule of 88 ready to go. We knew what age, we kind of had that retirement life starting to plan. And then Beachbody happened and I fell in love with the process of coaching because it was so much like teaching, but it was like outside those classroom walls. And I was able to really live through my passion and live through my strengths. And so I'm hoping that you guys can get some stuff from this too, because I really do feel like teachers are givers. Teachers do a lot. And so time management is obviously like a huge thing. So first things first, I had to do a huge gut check. And before we start this, I totally apologize. I was at Tony Robbins this week, so I'm still shaking from his like whole thing. And I'm like going to bring all the energy. So don't be like blown away like by all of this. But you have to ask yourself, I'm busy working. What are you actually doing? Like, what does being busy working actually mean? Because my husband and I went back and forth like, oh, I'm busy working the business and I didn't have this income to show him, but I had these really cute graphics or like this really cute like social media. And so busy working, this is what it actually means. I come into my office, I shut the door, I turn off my notifications on my phone. You can turn it to like airplane mode or whatever you need to do. And I literally start to work from a list. Just a reminder, please I have no idea. This is so hard to do. Okay. Hopefully that works. Okay, so make sure that you are working from a list. We all have the business activity tracker, but the thing is, you guys, when you show up to your business, you need to know what you need to get done today. And those things that you need to get done today, you have to do them with urgency and focus. And so basically what that means is when you shut the door, you need to understand that you're putting your family on the other side of that door. So whatever you're doing in your office, like get in here, get your stuff done, and then, go and be with your family or whatever it is. And so 7 to 9 o'clock at night, I came into my office and I worked my business while my husband was watching his weird like history shows or like football or sports or whatever. But I knew when I was sitting in here in my office, I had to have urgency and focus to get this stuff done in the little bit of time that I had. So ROI, just getting those tasks done first. So what that means is like getting, your return of your investment. So things that are going to move your business forward. I always went through my list and I always made sure to understand if they were on a scale from 0 to 5. 5 being like, I need to do them today. Invites. Posting on social media, personal development. Those are 5s, okay? 0 to 1 might be a really cute graphic for a success page or making Instagram story graphics or whatever it is. And so I always did my return of investment tasks first. And then if I felt like a computer could do it for me, that's where I delegated those tasks, whether it was to my leaders, whether it was to, please mute yourself. So sorry. Whether it was to my leaders, whether it was to my assistant, those kinds of things. But just make sure you guys, when you're sitting here working your business, you're not doing those things that are just basically like you considering working. Do the ROI. Do the things that are going to get you the return of your investment. Please mute yourself. This is so hard. I'm getting so much feedback. Okay. Please make sure you're not working on the fly. So if you're working full time, let's say you're at school or you're a nurse or whatever it is, and you're constantly trying to message people when you go to the bathroom, like in between classes or whatever it is, you are going to burn yourself out. Trust me, it's going to happen. It might not happen today or tomorrow, but it will happen down the road. So do not work your business on the fly. When you come into your office and you shut your door and you open your computer, that's when you're working your business. And what I found was that the pockets of your day and working on the fly are 2 completely different things. Okay. So pockets of your day is when you schedule to work your business. You schedule to just sit down, open your computer, have your stuff, tracking your business. Because what I found was when I was working on the fly, number 1, my responses to my people sucked. It was like super short. Sometimes it didn't make sense. Sometimes I was doing a voice message and then I forgot what I was talking about. I forgot to track my business. So then when I actually came home to my office, I was doing way more work than what I should have been doing, because I was kind of like undoing the shit that I did the day before or the morning before. So just make sure that when you come in your office and you sit down, you're doing those return of investments, not working from the fly. So you literally just sit down, bust it out, and then you get out of there. Also, just make sure you're not spending your time doing all of the things. I think as like newer coaches, and once you're a diamond coach, a star diamond coach, you kind of feel like I have to do all of these things for my team and like reinvent all of this stuff. You guys reuse groups, like reuse different groups that you have, reuse different free groups that you have. Don't reinvent what's actually working. So if your upline has something super awesome, or you guys are all, part of the Slay Squad, there's tons of amazing things. Use those things. Share and model that with your team, and then make sure that that's duplicatable, because I feel like as a teacher, I didn't have the time to make all of these things. I didn't have the time to reinvent this or make this or, start this group. I just went and plugged them into my upline or plugged them into my upline's upline. So just make sure you reuse groups where you can. Don't reinvent like the wheel, like they say. And then what I did and what really changed my business was I started to share it to my team. A lot of us think as leaders, we have to be perfect first. And, we don't necessarily want somebody like lower than us to like surpass us. I'm all about sharing. So if something's working for me, I share it with my team. If there's a group that's working, if I'm doing a free group or something, share it with your team, because your team's success is eventually going to be, your success as well. So just kind of remembering that part of it. And then also remembering with your team, tell them the same things. Come into your office, work your business. Do not work on the fly throughout the day. Come in here, get your shit done, and then leave. Like, tell your team the exact same thing. So you're basically modeling all these things, and then they're going to be like copying what you do later on. Okay. So here's kind of like my bread and butter. So it took me a while to understand that I was a CEO. It took me a while to make the time. I was way too busy. I coached sports. I was taking online courses. And I was actually battling like cluster migraines and stuff too. So like literally just like wiped out on my ass. And I was like, well, I have to show up no matter what, but I need to figure out how to do this so I'm not working my business when my tank is on empty. So what I did is I took the business activity tracker and I tried to set up timers for what I was doing. So like, let's say you're sending out invites. Set a timer on your phone, 5 minutes. You go, you bust out your invites. When the timer goes off, you're finished. Move to the next task. And what I found was I was like, oh my gosh, I have 2 minutes left. Like just busting the things out. Because if you think about your workouts, you guys think about Sean T when he's like, you have 10 seconds left. You have, 9, 8, 7. When he says 1, like very minimal people continue going. When he says like 0, everyone's like, oh my God, I'm so done. Do the same thing. Like go all in as hard as you can with your invites, with your follow-ups, whatever it is that you're doing. Have the timer sitting there for you, especially if you're looking for your following, especially if you're searching hashtags, because that rabbit hole, you guys, it's going to happen to you if you don't set that timer. So just make sure you're doing that. My planner, I'm kind of like a Mel Metro Mini kind of thing. So I use Google Calendar. I actually schedule everything down to like the exact hour, and then I have it synced to my phone so it goes off. So it's kind of like a daily timer, if that makes sense. And so what I did first was I did my job, because it was teaching from 8 to 4. Non-negotiable. I'm going to show up. I'm not going to call in sick. Being gone is like way easy, way harder than it is to actually like be there and be sick. So 8 to 4 every single day, teaching, blocked out. I actually did not work my business like while I was sitting there teaching, unless I had like this giant block open, because I burned myself out and I was being a really shitty teacher because I wasn't really focusing on my job and I wasn't really focusing on coaching. So teaching came first. And then I scheduled, since my husband and I are both teachers, we scheduled our workouts together. And then we scheduled kind of like our family time that we had. We talked about appointments that we have. We scheduled those in there. And then when I was building my business, I talked to my husband about this. And I was like, when is a good time for me to work my business? I want to work this. Here's my goals. This is what I'm doing when I'm working, those kinds of things. And so we decided that 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock at night was my time to work my business, his time to watch his sports, watch his like war movies and all of that stuff. So I had my teaching planned out. I knew when I was going to work out. I knew when I was going to work my business. I knew if I had appointments. And then really any space left open was my family time for him. And so when we got home from 5 to 7, I was unplugged. I was hanging out with my husband and our dogs, like, really planning your day down to the T. And you're going to find lots of little pockets that you can work your business as well, but planning it ahead of time, having those timers. The alarms is basically the same thing. So if you have them on Google Calendar, you can sync it to your phone. And so your phone's going off, your computer's going off, and literally every single night, 6:45 p.m. Central Time, it says, go do your shit. And I know that wherever I'm at, whatever I'm doing, I have 15 minutes to get my butt to my office. And that was not negotiable. I made that decision and I showed up every single night, 7 to 9 o'clock at night. So scheduling all of that stuff is huge, you guys. It's huge, okay? Obviously, a marketing calendar is, something most of you guys are familiar with. Basically, just having some sort of game plan for not only the week, but the month, and then sharing that with your team is obviously like this huge thing. So then that way, you know what you're doing every single day, you know what you're promoting. The third bullet is really what changed my business. I started to share it with my husband, and I started to share my schedule with my team. And one thing I learned this weekend was that if you don't value your own time and you're always available to everybody, like you're basically like telling yourself you're not worthy enough, you're not valuable enough. And so when I started to say to my team, I'm working my business from 7 to 9 o'clock at night. If you message me, you will not get a response until 7 o'clock at night. If it's super important or super personal, send me a text message, I'll get it. If not, I will get back to you at 7 o'clock at night. And at first, I feel like some of them were like, well, that's rude. But then I feel like they finally got it. They got it because they're like, well, she's working her business. She's, turning off everything else. She's going and doing her shit. And so like 7 to 9 o'clock at night was like when my team knew I was working my business. And my husband, I actually like synced my calendar with my husband. And so he would even be like, hey, babe, 6:45, like we got to go. You need to go do your shit. So like just sharing that with your spouse, because I feel like sometimes we feel like we have unsupportive spouses, but we don't even think about like, well, do I tell him what I'm doing? Do I like show him what I'm doing? Am I showing him the money? Am I showing him the results? Those kinds of things. And then one thing that I struggled with for a little bit until I figured out that it was okay to do what I needed to do was tracking whatever the way works for you best. Okay. So you have lots of top coaches that you follow from. They have amazing systems, Google Street, all the things. Notebook, pen and paper, Teamsy, whatever it is, whatever works best for you, that's what you do. You can take bits and pieces from other coaches and plug them into your system, but eventually you're going to come into a tracking system that like works just for you. And so for me, I use Teamsy and I've used it since like day one. I don't know why, but it's like a notebook on steroids for me. I have severe anxiety. And so waking up and them being like, hey, you need to follow up with these 40 people. For some reason that just like, is worry free. And I used to stress about like, oh my gosh, I need to talk to Jessica. Oh crap, I forgot to message this person. I don't worry about that. I just log in, I work my business and it says, hey, go do this. Hey, go do that. So that's actually what I use. And that's been a game changer for me as well. And the cool thing is that there's an app, obviously, it's on your phone that you can use. So when I was at school, for parent-teacher conferences, we have 2 hours before parents came. I got to use my phone and track on my business there too. So just really taking ownership of your life every single day at a time, planning it down to the exact hour, setting alarms ahead of time to get your body like in that routine. And still like tonight, 6:45, I was like, hey babe, what time is it? He's like, really? He's like, you're asking me what time it is? It's 6:45. My body is just kind of like in that habit. And so I've been trying to, fix it since being at home, you guys. But once you get into a habit, you guys know this, that it's so much easier just to like show up and make it happen. So the thing that full-time people need is laser focus. And it's not just for one day. It's not just for 2 days. It's literally that compound effect. So you working Monday through Saturday or Monday through Friday or whatever it is that you do with your business, working every single day back to back to back builds up. It builds your credibility. It builds that compound effect. And if you've ever read that book, you guys, what you're doing right now is going to pay off in 3 to 6 months from now. And so having laser focus and just focusing on what you're doing and not exactly like where you should be at, but like just focusing on the things to get there. And so I noticed the difference of working in pockets throughout my day working in that like pocket area versus working on the fly. Okay. So working on the fly is like, what, babe? Yeah. What did you say? I'm sorry. I didn't catch what you said. And then you're like texting, messaging, or, you know, you're not planning to work, you know, maybe you're just like sitting there, your kids are playing and you pick your phone up, or you're mindlessly Facebook scrolling, or whatever it is that you're doing. That is not pockets of time. Pockets of time is when my husband and I traveled to school together, and I had 30 minutes every morning and every day after school, which was phenomenal. He always drove and put his like weird stuff on. And so I put my headphones on and I would work for 30 minutes. But the thing is, like, that helped me decompress from my day. That helped me, you know, kind of come from work my business, put my phone away, spend my time with my spouse, and then come back and like be refreshed and work my business. So just understand that working on the fly is not the same thing as pockets of time throughout your day. You know, so just make sure you're scheduling those times, you're tracking what you're doing, and you're working with urgency and focus. I cannot stress that enough. If I find myself Facebook scrolling, I actually just put my phone on and I walk away. If I'm in my office working and I find myself like starting to compare myself to someone else, I close my computer and I walk away, because I'm no longer like in that urgency and focus state. So another thing with laser focus, we talked about the marketing calendar. If you've heard of Mel, obviously you know, like, this is what's happening this week. This is what I have planned for next week. This is my focus for December, even though it's November. And so I actually try to craft, not actually the words of what I'm going to post, but I try to craft ideas ahead of time. So for an example, today's Monday, right? Yeah, today is Monday. And so a lot of you just started 6 weeks of the work, or maybe you started a new program. Maybe you have a new program on Monday. So this week, your job is to promote your challenge group, your boot camp. But you can't wake up every single day and say the exact same thing. So that's where you're kind of coming up with those different ideas. And so basically, I take a marketing calendar, I wipe it clean, and I just put ideas of what to post. And so what I do is 2 things every single day: some sort of fitness related post, some sort of coaching related post. So yes, if you go to my page, I talk about coaching every single freaking day. Like, I'm not even kidding you. And fitness, I talk about fitness somehow every single day. It's not a sweaty selfie. It's not like, hey, here's my Shakeology. It's, you know, how my workouts helped me tame my anxiety, and now I'm doing the things, or whatever it is. And so I try to really focus on hitting those 2 pieces, because I'm a very fitness oriented person. That's part of my niche for coaching. I've been an athlete, so that's just kind of something that I do. So take that marketing calendar, you guys, wipe it clean, and then do some ideas for posting. And what's super awesome is you can screenshot it, you can share it with your team, and they just think that you just gave them a marketing calendar and a posting calendar for the month, and they're just like bowing down to you. And you're like, I'm just planning the things. And it just kind of starts as a compound effect, a duplicatable thing that you can do. And so like for November, a lot of you are doing a grateful challenge. That's super awesome. But how is that helping you move your business forward? Are you taking that you're grateful for your health and tying it into something? So my posts somehow always tie into my fitness journey or my coaching journey. Sometimes I post like random silly crap, but you guys, most of the time I have some sort of like laser focus to my posts. And then another thing that I have noticed is when you have laser focus, you have a marketing calendar, you know this week what your job is to do. Your team knows what their job is to do. And you as a leader need to have something to invite to every single week. Okay, so like our team does coach webinars every single Tuesday night. So my team invites to the coaching opportunity at least once or twice, a week, but every single week reoccurring. We have an ongoing challenge group. So they're constantly inviting to that challenge group. If you have a free group, whatever it is, just make sure you have things that you can invite to, that you're excited about, that you can, get your team rallied up behind you, and just really focus on new goals every single month. Personal goals, team goals, life goals, and then just really kind of focusing and moving that forward. So really just having, if you're a teacher, this is going to sound really familiar, but having that end in mind, like, where do I want to go? How am I going to get there? And then working backwards to do that. So kind of like 12-week year. But for some reason that book scared the crap out of me. So I just thought of it as like the teacher thing. You want them to understand the concept of addition. How are you going to get them there? And so it's the same thing. You want to fill your boot camp. How are you going to get people to your boot camp? You want 4 coaches this month. How are you going to get coaches in there get them the information, and get them onto your team. So just really having that laser focus. Okay, so a lot of you have heard of Josh Coates. I absolutely love his model, motivate, mentor, and multiply. It's simple. It's to the point. My entire team does the exact same thing. If you read his book, the whole book is about the exact same thing. But it's so true every step of the way. Okay, so think back to when you were first a coach. Your coach ran the challenge group for you. Okay, when you signed up with her as a boot camp. Your coach ran the boot camp, you jumped in, you got amazing results. And then maybe you're like, oh yeah, like I want to invite some people to a challenge group, but I don't have my own group open yet. And your coach was like, yeah, girl, we're running it together this month. So then you're doing it together. Okay. So then the second or third month, you're like, you know what? I think I got this. I can run my own boot camp. I can do this by myself. I'm going to get my own challengers. I do, we do, you do. It's the exact same thing. You model, you motivate, you mentor, and then guess what? Your team multiplies. So it's basically just running the thing for them first, getting them an amazing transformation, getting them amazing, whatever it is, coaching story, whatever that is for you, getting them that amazing training, and then showing them how you do the stuff that you actually do, not just telling, but showing them, like actually, sharing your screen and saying, here's my inbox. This is how I actually invite. Like I have taken my computer, I've shared my screen with my team. I went to my post, I've clicked on people, I've talked them through the process of it. If you're a teacher, this makes sense. It's just called talking out loud. But basically you just literally go through your day and you just talk out loud as you do it. This is why Beachbody does the action hours, and they have people walk you through what they're doing. And they literally like talk through the whole thing. They walk you through the entire thing. That's why they do it. Okay. So show them how to do it and then help them do it. So that's kind of like that we part. And for me, if a coach has a question about a conversation, somebody's responding to them, if they're getting a lot of like ghosting or something, the first thing I say is screenshot, send them to me. And then we kind of like dig through that and just say, maybe send this next time, maybe word it this way next time. And then they can go, that's really loud. That's duplicatable to their team. Okay. So, the same thing that you've heard before. I do, we do, you do. Now that's for inviting messaging. This is where my business changed. As a teacher, I did not have time to micromanage anybody. I don't hold hands. I'm all tough love. I'm an 8, like through and through. And so I created pods. I know you've heard about them before, but just having a pod is not going to get you.
Marissa.
Thank you. Just having the pods is not going to get you the success that you actually want. Having some sort of laser focus in your pods is what's going to get you there. So I have 3 pods right now. I have my newer coaches mixed in with my coaches who are not yet Emerald, because they're still at the exact same thing. They're really just trying to learn, the whole posting, taking care of themselves, inviting, just the consistency piece. And then the second pod that I have is coaches who have rank advanced to Emerald. So that shows me that they want it. That shows me that they put some skin in the game. And so they get a little bit more of my time than those baby coaches did. And so then I have my third pod, and that is where my like worker bees are. If I have a question, if I want to like bounce ideas off of, that's the first pod I check. That's the first pod I put good quality information, because you guys, if you know this, like, 80% of your coaches are going to give you 20% of your results. So 80% of the people on your team are going to give you 20% of your results. 20%, this 20% of your coaches who are kicking ass, showing up, being consistent is going to get you 80% of your results and where you want to be. It's okay to work with the working coaches. It's okay to limit your time to other coaches. That's okay. That's being a coach, a CEO. If you think about a business, would the CEO spend more time with the guy who is making him money, upping sales, like doing all of the things, or the guy who shows up late for work, sometimes doesn't show up, like has a shitty presentation? So just kind of thinking this as like an actual business, because it is. And so I created 2 pages, and this was also super helpful. I have a team page for discount coaches and through. So if you're signed up as a discount coach, you go on this page. These guys get national.
Marissa, where's Marissa? Send her up, please.
Can you mute yourself? I don't know who you are. So this page is simply for just basically like our community. This is where we do fun things like, you know, drop below your favorite makeup product or whatever it is. So just get to know each other, have fun. It's a community page. We get National Wake Up Call information, just like little things here and there, you know, peppermint mocha, all of that stuff. The business builder page, they don't need all that fluff. They need, what can I do? This is the place I'm going to come if I have a question about invites, follow-ups. This is where you put those really good videos to help them. This is where you put that your urgency, your focus, and you let them know that like if you're in pod 2 or 3, you're in my business builder page, and that's where most of my focus is. And like they'll want to hang out with you. Your coaches are all fangirls of you. Okay. And then we do mastermind calls with our business builder page. So we get on, instead of me preaching, instead of me saying, do this, do this, do this, it's literally, we just go around one person at a time. And it's like, what's working? What are you struggling with? And what's your focus for the week? We go through that. Everyone gets their questions answered. Some people get their question answered and they don't even have to ask it. Then it like just basically takes the call from like you gabbing and like talking and wasting people's time and maybe being negative. It just puts it laser focused. So that's kind of like my, I don't know, my theme, laser focus. That's literally what you have to have. So these masterminds can be 15 to 20 minutes. Like you can be like, you literally have 2 minutes, go. What's working? What do you need help with? What's your focus for this week? And those are only your business builders, only the people working the business. Okay. Do not feel sorry for Susie who didn't even make it through coach training. This is for your people who are like, hey girl, I'm Emerald. I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to push. Okay. So the pod matches up with your business builder page, which matches up with your mastermind call. So for me as a coach working full time, I had to check into 3 pods. I had to check into my page, and then I had a call once a week. That was it. And my coaches were doing their shit because I'm not going to hold their hand. I'm not going to like, you know, walk them through all of this stuff. I'm going to say, here's what you need, go do it. I always have a weekly team call. When my coach ran her team calls, I never missed a call in 2 years, ever. Like it's in your planner. That's part of your job. If you had a business meeting and you're like, oh, actually I'm going to take a bath and watch The Bachelorette, you would be fired. Like, so let's be real here. Okay. So my team calls are Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Central. They have not changed. I always record them. I always put the link up before I go to bed. Like it's always the exact same thing. And my coaches know that like fire is being lit on these calls. It's not for people to come in and be super negative and talk and gab. It's literally for the guest speaker or, you know, for me to bring a topic and talk kind of like what I'm doing tonight. They can ask questions. They can get one-on-one time with me, and then we're off. So again, laser focus. I feel like sometimes team calls are places where coaches just go and decompress, and that's kind of how you tear your team apart. So just really having that laser focus. Becca, can you mute yourself? Sorry, I can't click you. Just make sure I got all of the other ones. Okay. So this is where I decided that I needed to make that the biggest change that I possibly could. And I will share like this with you. If you can't see it right now, you can screenshot it if you want to. If you are working full time, and I even do it now, I showed Alyssa this weekend, like this is my system. This is what I do. This is literally how I work my business. You need to have a system. Okay. Your coaches can send an invite. If they can't send an invite, they don't need your time. Because anybody can send an invite. There's 30 million crafts of invites. You can probably go to Google and find a cute one. Whatever it is, send the invite, okay? I noticed that once my coaches sent the invite and someone was like, yeah, I'm interested, my coaches all like crapped the bed. They were like, oh my God, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. Like, I've never done this before. Like, it literally happens. And sometimes it happens to me. Like, people are like, yeah, I'm interested. I'm like, well, crap, I don't know what to say now. So I created a system, super simple. It's 4 steps because for me, like, I don't know, all my steps are usually 4. So basically I send them that invite. When they say yes to me, the first thing that we talk about is like a little bit about my boot camp, because they're like, yeah, I'd love more information. And so I always hit them with like, here's, you know, a little bit of what I'm doing. And then at the end, you'll see these things in like the little brackets. Those are my questions at the end. So I talk about my boot camp a little bit, like, yeah, it's, you know, so much. We're going to basically find like a program that helps, you know, you with your goals, you know, hitting your, you know, whatever it is. Like, you can just talk about your boot camp, however it is. This is what I say. I'm really excited for this next group. Basically, we're going to pick a workout program that fits you or that best fits you, help you follow a nutrition plan, maximize your results, track your progress, share recipes, stay motivated, etc. And an accountability group with a private and separate app. what do you feel like you struggle with the most? And then I always put fitness, nutrition, and support. Because think about your challenge pack: fitness, nutrition, support. So if they have problems with one of those, they probably have, like an issue with the other one. And then the support is just like friggin' awesome, So I always talk about those three things. So that first piece is what I send. It ends in a question, okay? Normally they say, oh, I just struggle with fitness, or I struggle with nutrition, or I just need someone to hold me accountable, whatever it is, okay? This is where I go into like my whole feel, felt, found thing, but I want to say something. I don't say feel, felt, found if you don't actually like understand what they're going through. Like if someone's like, oh, I'm really struggling with this postpartum depression. Like I can't be like, oh girl, I totally feel you. I've been there before. This is what I found that works for me. I've never had a baby. So I've had depression though. So I can, I can link up with that piece, if that makes sense. So I totally understand. Thank you so much for reaching back out and sharing that with me. Thank them, you guys. That takes so much out of a person to talk about their weaknesses. And then I say, I struggled a lot before this program with all of the things. I just wanted to feel comfortable in my own skin, shed a few pounds, tone up. What I found though is this program hits all of the things without being too complicated. So super simple. People don't have time for anything else. And then I say, would you be okay with me sending you more details on how I got started to see if it could be a game changer for you? And people are like, well, yeah, obviously, like, go ahead, send that to me. Okay. So that's when I pick their best bundle. You have so many options, you guys. Like, just be knowledgeable as a coach. Okay. Know what the challenge packs are, know what the sales are, know what the programs are. If you have somebody who struggles with nutrition and like has barely ever worked out, you would not throw a 6 weeks of the work challenge group at them. Like just be knowledgeable about what you're doing. So I usually say, yeah, I'm so happy to hear that. When I started, I invested in a fitness bundle. I don't say a Beachbody challenge pack. I say fitness, nutrition, and support, because guess what? We just talked about that at the beginning. Okay. So I'm tying that piece in. And I say it includes access to Netflix-like workouts. So now my person is thinking about Netflix. They're thinking about logging in, watching their favorite TV show. Instead of movies and workouts, or instead of movies and TV shows, they get workouts. And so I let them know they have access to, from lifting to cardio to yoga, like whatever it is. Along with the workouts, nutrition is brought into play with using a superfood or a pre and post workout every day. And you as a coach, you should be able to pick either of those or both of them from their goals. So if they're struggling with motivation, getting up in the morning, like pre and post workout is like gold. If they're struggling with nutrition, does pre and post workout help? Absolutely, because they're actually getting up and moving, but maybe you go for that superfood. Me, I always lead with both of them because I use both of them. So then I can like back that up with success and with results. Portion food group, meal planning, and recipes. So I let them know, like, girl, I got you. Like, I got you. I have meal plans. I have recipes. And then I say, depending on your goals before, so that's where you plug that part in, depending on, if they wanted to lose weight or whatever, you'll have access to an online community via Facebook or a personal tracker, letting them know that it doesn't always have to be Facebook, doesn't always have to be a tracker, for only $160 or whatever it is, so if it's $140, change the price. And then I answer, or I stop and I ask them a question, because now they have all of the information, they have the price. And if you stop and you say, does that sound good? They're gonna be like, hell no. If you say like, does this sound okay? People are gonna be like, I don't know, does it? If you say, do you have any questions? They're gonna be like, well, shit, I didn't, but should I? Like, the things that you ask people like trigger their friggin' mind, you guys. So I always just say like, what goals are you gonna focus specifically on for the next 30 days? I'm excited, they're excited, let's freaking do this, okay? So then we just kind of work through that part. And then the last part is me just kind of like sending them the bundle, getting them signed up, that sort of thing. This is what I teach my coaches. Send the freaking invite, first of all. When they say that they're interested, celebrate the shit out of it and then get to work. It's not, being afraid of it. It's literally challenge group, their goals, talking to feel, felt, found. It's talking about the challenge pack. It's getting them signed up. Boom, they're in your challenge group and you're moving. Okay. So you can have the same system with coaching or whatever it is, but setting up a system, this is duplicatable. I can screenshot this and send this to a brand new baby coach and she can figure it out. Okay. So having some sort of system. And then this is my last thing. Sorry, I'm gonna I talk a lot, but just make sure you guys mute yourself. Okay, I got it. All right, so last thing is working your business while you're not. So the first part, the red circle challenge, is something I created for my team. A lot of us work at night. A lot of us work like 7 to 9 o'clock at night on our businesses. The red circle challenge is to wake up the next morning, open up when they work their business, open up their Facebook, their Instagram, Snapchat, whatever, and have that red circle that says 7 or 4 or 3 or whatever. If they don't have any red circles, like they didn't do their shit last night. And that's just some little tiny thing for you to check your business. And so I always just call it red circle challenge. And it literally excites me to wake up and be like, oh my God, do I even have one person that's excited? Because if you're working your business, you're doing the things over and over and over again, you're sending the invites, you're going to have the red circle challenge. It's going to be successful for you. And that's something you can do as a quick win. It doesn't have to be that they signed up. It could be that they messaged you back. Okay. So having some sort of little celebration. You've all heard of Facebook ads before. Using your marketing calendar. You have a boot camp coming up, November 18th. You should be marketing it now. You guys all know that. You can run an ad really quick, whatever you want to do. Those ads obviously work while you're sleeping because you're paying for it. Posting on social media, this is so crazy, but my coaches never believed me. When you post on social media and you close your phone, your post is working for you for free. It's working for you for free. If somebody likes it or comments, it pops back up and then people start liking and commenting it all over again. If you've ever done a post like dress A or B and it goes on for freaking ever, 6 weeks later, you're like, okay, obviously I wore A, thanks for, commenting. But it just keeps going for you. And that is literally like running a Facebook ad for free. And so if you're not posting on social media, you're literally shooting yourself in the foot. Okay. So quality obviously over quantity, 1 to 2 a day is usually what I try to do. If a post is working, I let that baby run, so just kind of like a Facebook ad for free. You can do email, you can do newsletters, you can have a blog page, you can have a landing page just to give people information. When you Google stuff, maybe you're on Pinterest and some cute thing pops up and it's actually, Holly Hillier or whatever it is, it's working for her overnight. She's not doing anything. She did the work to get it up and going. But it's just something that, and I tell my coaches, this is not something you do right away. This is something you do on your free time, but it definitely can work your business while you're actually not working your business. So this is pretty cool. And then the last thing is you guys have been so graciously given. Instagram stories and Snapchat is still around. I still use it. Your stories, you guys, work. You post it and then it starts to work for you for free. Some of you bitch about only having 200 to 300 people. That's 200 to 300 free people you just got on a post. Okay. So really just understanding that your social media and your marketing is really free marketing for you and it works your business while you're not working. So if you don't run your Instagram stories, shame on you. You're literally shooting yourself in the foot. So as a teacher, I worried. I was like, oh, I'm never going to be successful. I'm teaching all day. No one's going to see my stories. F that. I showed up in the morning. I posted my workouts. I went to school. Guess what I was teaching? Guess where my market was? Teaching, working their job. Did they give a shit that I wasn't posting between 8 to 4? No. Did they give a shit that my stories were silent from 8 to 4? No, because my market was not on social media, you guys. Then 4 to 10 at night, yeah, I'm blowing that shit up. But don't stress about the fact that you're oh, I'm working, I'm not on my stories. Who cares? Your market's working too. So just kind of keep that in your head. So then obviously now I'm home, and then during the day, I'm trying to find those babes who are walking their dog outside that want to join my team. So just kind of keep that in mind too. Obviously your polls, your free groups. Free groups are awesome. Do not run a free group until you've hit Success Club. That's a rule on my team. If I see you running a free group and you haven't hit Success Club, I'm just over here blow it up. Hit Success Club, do your job as a coach, and then run your free group. So normally we run our free groups the 3rd week of the month because then that helps you with connections and messages, and then that kind of helps you hit Success Club for the following month. So it really helps you work your business while you're not actually working your business, and super cool. Obviously you can schedule posts and things, and so you just schedule it and then you're gone. So, okay. Sorry I talk for freaking ever. I'm such a teacher, but holy messages. Okay, so I don't really know what the best way. I'll just go through just some of these questions real quick. And then if you guys have questions, let me know. Yes, I will share the slides with you. I'll download them and share those with you guys. Obviously with the recording, I'll even share my little graphic I made. I just made it on Canva. The cool thing is, if you're a teacher, you kind of already know this, but like if you can give your kids something tangible to see, to look at, to refer off of, like they're more successful in what they're doing. That's why they take notes. That's why they use like guides to study for tests. It's the same thing with your coaches. So if I can make a quick graphic for 5 seconds and it saves my coaches like hours of time, why would you not do that kind of thing? Okay. Let's see. Lots of teachers on here. I friggin' love it. Okay. Yes, it's recorded. Okay. So power pockets versus power hour. So, when I woke up in the morning, I took care of myself. You have to take care of you first before you work your business. So whether it's personal development or it's your workout, you need to come first. If you wake up and you open your messenger, you're like not going to get shit done, or you're going to be super negative. You literally like wake up, turn your like alarm off, grab your PD or, you know, your workout, whatever it is that you do. And then I get ready, I take care of myself. Like that's not selfish. I'm just literally taking care of me. Because if I don't put my energy in me, if I'm not a full battery and I'm trying to pour into people, it's just not going to work. Okay. So I woke up, take care of myself. Then my power pocket is like in the car ride, 10, 15 minutes to school. Okay. Then I'm at school, car ride home. That's a power pocket. And then hang out with my husband. I actually worked my business 7 to 9 o'clock at night. Like we had supper together and then it was like, hey, love you, bye. But we obviously communicated that piece. So if you have kids, like whatever else, but that's like my power hour times like 2, I guess. And so I say 7 to 9 because remember I told you if I'm working and there's like a second where I'm like, oh crap, I shut my computer, I go walk, hang out with the dogs for like a hot second, and then I come back and work. And so that's the difference between that pocket and then that power hour, if that makes sense. But please make sure when you're working your business in those pockets of time, you're tracking and you're doing it with like urgency and focus. Otherwise you will be like scrolling and doing the things. I don't have a solid hour or 2 to close the door. Any tips on scheduling? Absolutely. So if you do the Google Calendar first, schedule your job. So I scheduled 8 to 4. It was blocked out. I didn't do Beachbody stuff at school because I burnt myself out way too fast. I scheduled my workouts because that was super important to me. I scheduled family time with my husband, but he also coached. So it was just kind of like chaos with that part of that sort of thing. But then also like after you schedule that, schedule your appointments, and then whatever is left open, whatever is open in there, that's your power pockets. So like that's kind of what I did for that. So if you have like 15 minutes here, like I did in the car, and 15 minutes on the way home, like sweet, that's 30 minutes. Like cool. If you have 45 minutes, maybe your kids are taking a bath and you can like sit by the tub or something and send stuff for 10 minutes or whatever it is. So just trying to find those pockets, but please schedule your non-negotiable first, schedule your workouts, schedule your family, then go back and fill in your business, if that makes sense. You really have to fill up yourself before you can kind of do that. So hard to figure out as a new coach what to do and not all the things for me. Perfect. So Beachbody has a tracker. I have been coaching for 4 years. Guess what? Like I literally work from the tracker. So once you have your tracker done, then when you want to go make all cute graphics and do all these other things, like perfect. But do your tracker first. That's literally all you need to worry about. And I actually made a graphic for my coaches that was super simple. I said, if you do anything today, please, please, please take care of yourself, do your personal development, drink your shake and post on social media, and then invite. So like I just gave them like fist to 5. Like these are the 5 things I want you to do today. So just really making it super simple for yourself. Let's see. Scheduled power pockets are great, but you have to, oh, you're just answering your question. Sorry. Let's see. Also, I think, I want to say it was Kim Fitzpatrick that gave like it's like by hours. It's like a little like Excel spreadsheet basically. And it's just like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. And just trying to like plug it in. Honestly, Google Calendar is awesome because you can like color coordinate it and like make it super cute and like teachery. So that's what I do. Also, if you are, you know, in the field of teaching or anything else, Erin Condren, she has really amazing calendars. I get the one that has the 3 boxes. So it was workouts, it was Beachbody, and then it was my life. So I scheduled it that way too. So hopefully that helps. Do you do PD during that 2 hours as well? So I actually am I like PD is like crack for me. I wake up and do my daily devotional before I actually work out. I have to work out to like rap music and someone like yelling and screaming at me. I cannot listen to PD while I'm working out. But like if I am sitting in my classroom for my prep period, I have PD going. Instead of like complete silence or music or whatever. In the car, when my husband listens to his weird podcasts about sports, like I just like plug in my PD. So just finding like those little pockets, and to be completely honest, like instead of sitting in front of the TV for 30 minutes, if you plug in headphones and like listen to PD, like your life's going to change. If you're folding clothes, PD is going to change your life. If you are taking a bath, like I literally go take a bath and just listen to PD. So just anywhere that you can do that, but the more PD, like the better for sure. Audible in your car, absolutely. So amazing for that too. Yep, just laser focus for sure. Audible is so awesome just because I don't feel like I have time to sit there and read a book. It sounds awful. I wake up and I do my daily devotional, so I do have time to read that daily thing. I go and work out, but then everything else is always Audible. So the tracker I use is Beachbody Tracker, and then I also use Teamzy. And so it's free for 30 days, and then it's $30 a month. But if you sign one person with a challenge pack, it pays for itself. And so I always just say like, well, you have to help at least one person this month to pay for your Teamzy, and you have to help 2 to 3 people this month to pay for your Shakeology. So why not shoot for 5? So just kind of like using it that way. Yeah, it's literally just Team and then ZY. Do you have a marketing calendar you can share? Are you sharing on business page or personal page? So I actually have Facebook. I have like a like page or whatever, and I have my personal page. I share the exact same thing, just different timing, sometimes a different picture. Instagram, I go to Instagram first. I post, make sure spacing is all good to go, make sure my pictures are all good, the angles and whatnot. I post it, I copy it, and I paste it to my Facebook. And then I copy it and I paste it to my like page and schedule it for 2 hours later. So sometimes I change the picture. Normally it's the exact same content. Because here's the deal. If you follow me on Instagram and you follow me on Facebook, like you don't really care if you see the exact same thing. And if you're following on my like page and you see the exact same thing 3 times, you probably should be coaching with me already. So that's just what I do. Marketing calendar, mine looks just like Mel's, but I can also share that in the call just so you can see what November looked like. For sure. Suggestions for social media as a current teacher. Great question. 8 to 4. I don't touch social media. Like I didn't post from 8 to 4. If I had a like page, I actually scheduled it for 7:59 in the morning. So like I would wake up, I would work out, I would post like my fitness, and then I would go to my like page and schedule it for 7:59 a.m. every single morning, and then maybe schedule something for 4:01 every single day. And then as far as Instagram, I'm running a business, and I had that conversation with my principal. I did the national wake up call at school. Like I had that conversation with my principal. I was like, here is the deal. This is actually what pays my bills. This is what I love to do. And you know, I want to be able to do both of them. And so they kind of saw it as like, well, if we butt heads, she's going to leave kind of thing. But then they also understood that like, I'm coming to them and trying to make it work with them. I know different schools are different ways and whatnot, but if you're not on social media from 8 to 4, they can't say anything else because that's your contracted time. So anything before and after that is none of their business, like legally as well. Lisa, am I the only one who doesn't have their own team? Girl, you got to start with yourself first, and then build from there. You've got to start from somewhere. And so here's the deal. If you're an Emerald coach, like your hubby's on your team, like he supports you, your mom's on your team or whoever else, like you have to start from somewhere. When I was building the 5-star, I was 3 of those, and I had a couple coaches that were like, yeah, I want to do this with you. And then, going 6-7-star kind of thing, like now it's more of my coaches and less of me, which is awesome. So you just have to make that decision. Like, screw it. I'm going to go, I'm going to like build it. And guess what? They will come kind of thing. So yeah. Don't really have a team, just one coach, one other coach and some customers for me. I didn't have business builders, you guys, until I hit 3-star. That sounds insane. Like I literally did not have people who were like, I'm going to do the damn thing with you until I hit 3-star. Like when I was like, I'm going to hit 1-star or I'm going to hit diamond with or without you. And I made it happen. I was like, I'm going to hit 1-star with or without you. And I made it happen. Yes, you have a couple people who hit emerald, but it was really just like a friend helping like a couple of her friends. She wasn't necessarily working the business. But once I got my second CBC open, I was like, I'm going, I'm doing this. And that's when I actually started having my business builders, because unfortunately, that's when I took my business seriously. Fortunately, like I took my business seriously, and that's kind of like what happened. So first month coach, don't even have any clients yet. Perfect. It's November 11th. So whenever you started, you have 20 some days left of the month. You can have 12 people underneath of you by the end of the month if you make that decision and you just go for it. Laser focus, make sure you have goals, make sure you have a marketing calendar, and just go for that. Always feel like, okay, yeah, definitely gradually, consistency over time. Lisa, do me a huge favor and read Compound Effect. Like, you will love it. If you've read it already, go read it again. Like, it's going to pay off for you. Doing the little things now is going to pay off for you. I promise you. Let's see. Just looking for other questions. Yeah, if you're a new coach, you guys, like, it's awesome. You're coming in at a really good time. Like, people are starting to be like, oh crap, the holidays are coming. I know I told my husband, I was like, I kind of want to fit in this dress for New Year's and stuff. And like, it's, November, and we want to go on like a trip. And I've been on these trips a couple of times. Like, I never really dreamed about wearing a swimsuit in November, but like just feeling comfortable in your skin. So you're in a really good time. And then obviously the new year. So what you do right now is going to really help your new year for sure. Yes, make sure you have your coaches screenshot their conversations and send it to you, because it's like taking their word for it is, I don't do that. Like, I'm a teacher. You've been lied to like 400 times a day where your homework is or why you didn't get it done. So like my coaches, I don't give them an option. I just say like, let me see your screenshots. So by pods, I mean like Facebook groups. Sorry, I probably should have explained that. So it just like, yeah, like Facebook Messenger groups. You can use Voxer, Voxer. It's kind of like walkie-talkie, kind of like Facebook. I know people use like WhatsApp. There's just different things out there, but Facebook works for me because I can just copy paste links and things like that. And then I just name them to make my team feel special, like just 3 different pods. Our pods this year were Disney themed because we just went to Disney for our team retreat. So that was kind of like a vision thing that we did. I think, what do you call these pods? Catchy names. So yeah, I guess I just answered that question. And yes, they know what level they are. And yes, I made a graphic for them so they can go back and refer to it. I'm such a visual learner for me. And if I can go back and check. So my first actually had 4 pods when I first started. And that was like brand new baby coaches. They had to go through my 7-day coach jumpstart. They had to figure out, back office, all the things. Once they were done with that, the quick win was 7 days in. Then they were in the second pod, and that was the pod that they knew they had to have 90 PV to be active. They were working on consistency. They were working on like just posting and getting to Emerald. Once they were Emerald, we celebrated the crap out of them. They went into pod 3. Once they were in pod 3, they still had to have 90 PV active. Obviously, they had to have 2 people underneath of them, and they were pushing or like figuring out what diamond was. They were figuring out consistency was paying off because they just have been working for the last couple of weeks, and now consistency, and that's kind of like where the magic happens. That's actually what our pod was called. And then my last pod was my diamond coaches, and I'm not even kidding you when I say this year was my first year of ever having leadership points. Last year I had 0. So don't sit here and say like, oh, I'm, a new coach. Like, I was a 5-star coach and I had 0 leadership points. So, yeah, just kind of like keep that. So whatever, if you're a brand new baby coach, like if you're like Lisa and you have nobody on your team, awesome. You have 1 pod. Whenever someone joins, that's the pod. When she gets done through coach training, she gets to be like the first pioneer to the next pod. So just making it, you have to start somewhere. So that's definitely going to help. What is your invite? So I am very direct if you have not gotten that yet. And I hate when someone like messages you and they're like, can you call me later? I need to talk to you. Don't ever do that to me. My dad knows. He always texts me and he says, call your dad. Like, he knows. Don't do that to me because I like accidentally like barked at him. But like my invites are the exact same thing. Like if people are liking and commenting on my stuff repeatedly, they get an invite that's like, hey girl, I see you watching my stuff. Like, are you ready to do this with me? ? And like, I just change it up a little bit, but it's very just short and to the point. I told my coaches today, if you're word vomiting, you're thinking too much. Okay. Like, just get straight and to the point. So, we've been really focusing on initiating that, like, thanks so much for joining up with my journey. Like, have the best day ever. And then, like, when they do it again, it's like, hey girl, I see you following my journey. Like, are you interested in more information? Or are you just showing love? Like, just sending them just invites, however you talk. So yes, there's tons of scripts for invites. Take them and change it so it sounds like you. So yeah, I say girl, I say y'all. I'm from Iowa. I don't know why I say y'all, but I do. So like I say it in my invites. I use capital letters because I like yell all the time. Word vomiting, don't word vomit. If you're word vomiting, you're thinking too much. Like, that's just literally the things. How do you respond to immediate cost objection and cost prior to sharing more information? I love when people do that to me. I'm like, sister, I have no freaking idea. I need to know your goals first because these are personalized bundles. And they're like, well, shit, that's cool. Or if someone's like, how much does it cost? I'm like, we can totally get there. I just need to go through your goals with you first just to see kind of like what would be the best fit for you. Because honestly, I don't lead right away with a challenge pack until I know their goals, because some people have fitness in, like, they don't need the workouts, but maybe they would rock performance line. Maybe I can get them into, whatever it is. But I always am like, sister, I know that you're wondering about the cost, but I literally cannot tell you until you tell me what your goals are so we can figure out a focus. And I always throw back the personalization of your fitness bundles too, because that makes people feel important and excited, and that's what I would want. So that's kind of what I do. Let's see. I think that's, someone asked what a Facebook ad is. So basically it's just like a post that you put up and then you can pay money to boost it to farther people than your actual market that you have. But you do have to have a like page on Facebook. You can run ads on Instagram though. So there's that. It's just basically being able to touch other people. A good thing that I started out with Facebook ad was just a quote and a picture of me. And I just like started putting it out, trying to test my ads first, trying to find my best market. And then that's when I kind of started marketing my boot camps or coaching and stuff like that. And I actually haven't ran an ad for a while, but that's what I did when I first started. So suggestions for posting as a teacher. If it's outside of 8 to 4, I'm not a teacher anymore, so I guess I don't really give a shit. But if it's outside of 8 to 4, I'm Megan Geise. Like, if it's 8 to 4 and I'm sitting in my classroom, I'm Mrs. Geise. If it's 401, like, I'm Megan Geise. I don't give a shit what I'm putting on my social media. It's none of their business. I signed a contract from 8 to 4. I did not sign a contract Monday through Friday from like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., all of those things. Obviously, when I was teaching, I wasn't like bashing teaching, and I really don't bash teaching now either. I loved what I did. It's just that we're underpaid, so yeah, talk about the things, but just always be grateful for what you do have, and then kind of like where you want to go with that. So how did you start finding coaches? I asked for them. I was like, here's the deal. Like, this is an amazing opportunity. I'm looking for people who want to do this with me. I'm asking for it. Like, whatever you want, you're going to ask for it. If you want boot campers, what are you going to do? You're going to ask for boot campers to join up with your boot camp. If you want coaches, you do the exact same thing. I always post fitness and coaching every single day, some sort of thing. And so I have an opportunity to invite a lot of my like rockstar coaches, obviously came from my challenge groups. That's why I pour into them. I get them really good results. I pump them up. I show them what I do. They do personal development. So then when I actually say you do what I do as a coach, like, it's actually true. I hate when people say that and I don't know, just make sure you're having them do the things. So, can you share your invites or invite? Honestly, it's just like how I talk, super simple. There's tons of scripts. I do have a thing that Brigitte Lemfert shared with me that was fantastic about coaching and just like different ideas of posting about it. I feel like it's hard to invite. If you're having trouble inviting, it's probably because you're not posting about it. It's probably because you're not talking about it on social media. So you feel weird inviting to it. And I always use the example of, if I was gonna like message you tomorrow about Pampered Chef and ask if you wanted to buy something from me, you'd be like, who the hell are you and what the hell is Pampered Chef? Because I've never talked about it in my life. And so my invites would be kind of like, in and out. But if I'm like posting about my life every single day, sharing it like real and raw, when I message people, I have so much confidence, if that makes sense. So it really helps. So yeah, when did you hit different ranks time-wise? Actually, I have my things on the ground that I need to like hang up. So I obviously hit Ruby and Diamond February of 2016. And then it took me an entire year to get my shit together to hit 1 star. I hit Diamond, and I hit it because that's what you do. And like, that was my end all be all. And like, I don't know, confetti wasn't thrown. I was like, well, fuck, now what? It didn't really mean anything to me because I didn't really have a why. I was just doing the things. But once I hit 1 star, we went 1 to 6-star qual within like 4 months because I went to NLC, National Leadership Conference, and I came home and I was like, I've got to do this. I've just got to do this. I'm just tired of being complacent. So my first year and a half of the business was very wishy-washy because I didn't believe in myself. I wasn't asking for coaches, those kinds of things. I was kind of at a plateau. And then I feel like I just drew a line in the sand. You hear Mel say that all the time. So just started, but coming from it works. So how to make the transformation to not be salesy. You guys, salesy and passion. If you are so freaking passionate and it comes off as salesy, like fuck them. Like, I'm not even kidding you. Like, if you're so passionate about what you're doing and people are like, oh my God, there she is talking about her fitness again, being all salesy, like, who cares? Like, who cares? You're passionate about what you're doing. If you worry about what people think, like, you're not going to get anywhere in life. You know, if I was too bubbly in my math class, was I worried about what my students thought? Hell no. I was just freaking excited about imaginary numbers, you know, like, it's the same thing with your business. So, don't like put salesy in front of passionate. A lot of you guys are passionate. If you feel like you're being salesy, you probably are. Like, just don't do it. Share your transformation and share the story. Do I know about you? Do I know your story from start to finish? Those kinds of things. Are you saying challenge packs on sale, sign up with me? Well, yeah, that's salesy because it sounds like crap. Are you saying like, oh, I struggle with depression and anxiety. I found these amazing workouts I can do at home, 30 minutes a day, and I feel absolutely incredible. Look at my glow. Like, there's a difference between the two. So just really understanding, like, sharing you and sharing your journey. So definitely. At the beginning, did you invite more to coaching or fitness? I think I still invite. I was talking to Alyssa this week, and I was like, I invite to fitness like it's my friggin' job because I've been through it. I've had the results, and I was always like, I'm not a successful coach. But guess what? Like, I signed up my husband and my freaking best friend. I'm a successful coach. Like, you're a successful coach the day you sign up as a coach. And so once you figure that out, once you start talking about the opportunity, you know, that's when coaches do come, but you can't go looking for coaches, you guys. Like, that's not how it works. You attract coaches, if that makes sense. Like, you ask for coaches. You don't go looking for coaches. I mean, you have dream girls and you're like, oh my God, girl, you should totally coach. But like, yeah, you definitely have people who come to you for sure. Favorite PD for courage. I really loved You Are a Badass, but again, I love audibles. I'm not a big reader, but the compound effect, because I'm such a nerd, like literally it was like my courage thing, which is weird. But if you need like somebody to just like brush off the crap, like Gary Vee, listening to him online is awesome. And then like, what is it? Unfuck Yourself or something like that. I got to figure out what the, guys, I can screenshot my PD, but it's all audible because I have to hear passion. How do you decide who to invite each day? Just whoever's liking, comment on my stuff, whoever's interacting with my stuff. If people interact with my posts, if they like and comment with my posts, I invite them. If they're on my stories, I'm kind of like connecting, making that connection with them, talking with them a little bit, and then I like bust them with an invite. So, cause I know a lot of people just mindlessly do Instagram stories, but if you like and comment on a post, like, I don't know, takes a little bit more time, I guess, for me. So that's what I do with that part. But if you're new to Marketing Calendar, I'll just share it with you and you can look at it. But basically it's just like, what are you doing this month? What's your focus? What program are you pushing towards? Those kinds of things. So a Marketing Calendar, I just go to Canva. I take like November 2019. When do I want to run a boot camp? You know, like second week of the month. When do I want to run my free group? Like the third group of the month. Like, when am I running my webinars? Every single Tuesday. And you just put it on a calendar. So when you see it, you're like, okay, this week we have this happening, this happening, this happening. It's kind of like if you're planning your life, but your business sort of thing. So definitely. I hear successful coaches keep saying just do the things and you'll have 10 people by the end of the month. Still baffles me. Chelsea, read compound effect. It won't baffle you anymore. It's definitely that easy. So the thing is, they're not telling you to work Monday and Thursday or work whenever you feel like it. They're telling you to work consistently. And I probably work 6 out of the 7 days. Like sometimes it's 5 out of the 7 now, but before it was definitely 6 out of the 7 days. Thursday was my night off. I'm not sure why, but that was like my night off. I still posted on social media. I still rocked my stories, but I probably wasn't like sitting in my office, like busting out all of the things. Because Saturday morning was super easy for me to work out, work my business. Sunday, when my husband was watching football, like we had that conversation, those kinds of things. And so the thing is, I'm a math person. And so numbers, you guys, it's all a numbers game. And to be honest, if you talk to 10 people, one person is probably going to be like, yeah, I'm interested. You know, I'm interested in more information. 10 of those people, like one of them is going to sign up. So it's just the power of talking to people and making those connections and being real and raw. With your journey for sure. So it's really just a numbers game. And I always think about, you know, like if you think of athletes in your school, you have athletes who are not good. You have athletes who are like mediocre, and you have a group of athletes who are pretty well. And that's why they always play varsity. And then you have like 2 that really stick out. And those are the ones that are going to play D1 basketball or D1, you know, whatever. It's the same thing with your business and people you're recruiting. So it's really a numbers game and the people who put in the most work and consistency. So, if their goal is just literally to lose weight, 2B mindset, you know, UPF, Shakeology for sure. My mom struggles with like all the things and just found out she has lupus and just struggles with like walking some days. And so 2B mindset is perfect for her, Shakeology. So just kind of like having that knowledge as a coach for sure. So if you're not really familiar with challenge packs yet, not familiar with Shakeology or benefits of those things, like go do that. Like go take some time and like actually learn up about that. Jen asked what a like page is. So if you go to Facebook and you see like, you know, Alyssa has her Facebook page and then she has like her fitness page, like that fitness is what we call a like page. The reason for that is it's not your Facebook personal page. It's just called a like page. Some people call it different things. The difference though is you can run events, you can get it out to different people, you can get it out to people outside of your warm market. You don't have to be friends with them on Facebook, they can follow you, super awesome stuff. What exactly do you do with all your girls, challenge group, boot camp girls? So they get into my boot camp, they have a morning post and a nightly check-in, and then I email them once a week. So everybody that signs up with me for a challenge pack is 18 or older, which means they're an adult, which means I don't need to check in with them every single day. I might check in with them like a couple of times a week when they first get started. But you guys, I give them everything they need. Like you better bet I have a graphic that says, here's, you know, 6 steps to follow to get started. I have a prep week like everybody else does. I have a daily post like everybody else does. I have a nightly check-in like everybody else does. And then, you know, maybe I check in with them 2 times the first week or 2. And then it goes to like, I always email on Sunday or Saturday, you know, just kind of like, how was your week? Let's wrap it up. And then I share with them like meal plans and stuff. So, and my boot camp girls know that they have to be active, like 50 PV or more to continue into the next challenge group because they need skin in the game. So their first challenge group, 30 days, awesome. They're with me. If they cancel, go inactive, they go to my free group. If they continue, they go to my next group. So it's their choice. They're an adult. That's just something that I needed to do, especially if you recruit more than, you know, 10, 20 people a month or 30 people a month, and you're giving to 30 people who are all inactive. Like it's insane to me. So just make sure that they're meeting you halfway for sure. Author of Compound Effect. Someone help me. Is it Darren something? Darren Hardy? Is that? Oh, yep, someone said it. Never mind. I think it's Darren Hardy too. So yeah, for sure. Okay. I'm sorry that went really long, but I love answering questions. I'm such a teacher. Okay. I don't know if Alyssa's on here. I don't know if she's on here or not, but I will share. I'm totally down to share all the things. Like that's why I'm where I'm at in my business, is because people decided to share those things with me. As I'm scrolling through here, do you guys have any last minute questions? Anything? Totally down to answer anything. Pick my brain if you want. Did you address what you do consistently with your challengers? So oh, your phone died. No, that's okay. So I have a group on Facebook and I have the app as well. So like My November group has Facebook and the app. People choose. They tell me which one, so I know. If they're on the app, I just message them on the app. I'm not going to waste my time bringing them to Facebook and all that junk. I still email them though. My Facebook people, morning check-in, so it's like a fun thing for them to do. We're doing like a thankful, challenge this month. And they love posting pictures. Like, it's crazy. They hate sweaty selfies, but they will post like all the pictures of stuff. So have fun with them. And then at night I have them, rating their workouts, rating their food, water intake. I suck at that. So I have people rate that just to like help me and everything. So, they have 2 check-ins a day, plus I'm messaging them on the weekend, plus they know they have me on Facebook Messenger. Like, they're adults, you guys. They have to want it too. You can't do it for them, just like you can't do it for your coaches. Obviously you're there to coach, you're not there to do it for them. So you can only encourage them, show up, tag them in the group if you need to, whatever it is, message them. But my free group, I run it every third week of the month, and it ranges from 7 days down to like 3 days. And it just depends on what I feel like I need and what I feel like other people need. So my group that I have coming up is just like my coaches and I are taking back like our morning, just talking about like scheduling, waking up, working out, just kind of like scheduling our mornings and stuff. And then actually for December, what I'm doing is like my superpower of like, scheduling their lives, like taking out their Google Calendar, like going through it. And it's only a couple of days, but, and then my paid group obviously is challenge groups. So when they purchase a challenge pack, tips for balancing life, busy teacher life. And this is my 3rd year teaching, and I constantly find myself working late days. Okay. So as far as teaching, I was the teacher that was ready to leave at 4:01, like laser focus, you guys. From 3:30 to 4, I got my shit done. Like, I figured out like your prepping period and stuff is for you to prep for the next day, not for you to go walk around and chat with teachers and like, scroll Facebook and make cute graphics. Kids, like, it's literally for you to do your things. It's the same thing for your business. And so I never wanted to bring stuff home from teaching. Maybe I had like a big test or something I brought home and checked, but I don't know. I just started to burn myself out. I used to bring stuff home all the time from teaching and I hated it. So like 4:01, like my husband and I like met each other at the door. We're ready to go. Like, I literally taught him like laser focus. I'm like, babe, I'm leaving at 4:01. If you're not ready, you're walking. So like, we just kind of worked that together. And then if you do bring stuff home, like, that's totally your choice. But just scheduling it out basically, and just knowing that you need to fuel your brain with the right stuff in order to be able to do all of those things. So, Brittany, good question. She's like, where are you going to share all the amazing stuff? I will ask Alyssa. I'm assuming somewhere in like the Slay Squad thing, but I will have the recording obviously because I'm recording it right now. So I'll have to share that too. So wherever I share the recording, I'll just share like my graphics and stuff with you guys, if that works. Weekly email is just how I talk to people. Like, normally I'm like, hey, I'm sitting here watching the Vikings. Like, hopefully we don't choke today. Just wanted to check in with you, see how things are. I noticed, this week, everybody was like super active. What is your goal for next month or next week? How are you going to up that? Just kind of like using how the week went and talking about it in my email. And then I just post in there with like some meal plans or like favorite recipes or something. Week 2 to week 3, that's kind of when I start talking to them about like the next group. I'm super excited for December, super excited for holidays. So they're already transitioning, ready to like continue with me just to help with that consistency piece for sure. We should have a teacher group for coaching. Honestly, like it's definitely teachers and nurses. I have a lot of teachers and nurses, and I have a lot of moms on my team. And I don't have kids, so it's crazy, but how did you create an email list? So I had my challengers. I have an Excel spreadsheet, and it says name, email, upline, and then I have how they're active. So whether it's Shakeology, Performance Line, whatever it is, like they know what that means because I just told them. Like, I told them what it meant. And then I have little boxes: prep week, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. And so they fill it out. And then I just take their email, and then I tag them the first couple of weeks, like, hey girl, you're not in there. Drop your email so I can send it to you. And then I actually just email it from there. So it's super quick and easy. Yeah, I love questions. Instagram handle is Mega Change Today if you want to go check it out. I'm trying my new Christmas theme, so there's that for you. Signing a spouse is your first. Is it keeping the second account enough, or so both accounts need to be 50 PV or 50 volume? Okay, so I talked with my team today, and when I first started coaching, I remember feeling like, why am I paying all the things? Like, I'm just spending all this money. And then like today I started laughing because I was like, why the hell did I say that? Like, it doesn't make any sense, because if I use Shakeology and Performance Line, get Shakeology under you, get Performance Line under your spouse. And I was like, you get a double discount basically, because they're signing as a discount coach underneath of you. They're getting a discount, you're getting commission. So it's basically like this big old discount. You get volume from it. It helps you get closer to Emerald. And then my dad was like, let me have one of those beach bars. I was like, why don't you open an account and get your own beach bars? So my dad is a coach and he gets 2-pack beach bars. Like, you guys, like it's, you know, Emerald is simple. They just go give your dad a beach bar. Like, no, but, you know, just understanding that my dad has 50 PV. My husband has 100 because he's, you know, 1-star. So like he has more, but he still just does Performance Line and then customer coaches and stuff. But my dad has 50 PV and my mom gets 2 things of collagen. She's got 50 PV. So yeah, it's just kind of like, if they're not working the business, 50 PV. If they're working the business, 90, no questions asked. And there's a graphic floating around about like what 50 PV is. If you send that to, you know, your people or whatever, just letting your challengers know, like, this is what 50 PV looks like. And it's not about them buying product to be active. I did a live video and I was like, here is why I'm talking about being active. Like, put some skin in the game. If you're doing the things and you want the results, like, continue, invest in yourself, that kind of thing. Weekly check-ins, emails, or Messenger. I actually was doing Messenger. I did Sunday, Saturday, Sunday-ish. And then I send like a little cute quote or something on Wednesdays. But then like I'm working my business and it's just like all the things. And so it was just easier for me to do like one email every week. And then I check, like I go through my challenger group or whatever and just say like, hey, like, and comment on everyone. And I notice when people are like inactive and I'll just like tag them or whatever and stuff. So that's kind of like a personal check-in. But then I do send them a private message sometimes if I'm like, hey girl, I haven't seen you, like what's going on? Sometimes life is just, you know, happening and they're not doing what we do as coaches and doing PD and putting themselves first. And so just helping them do that for sure. Recycling old free group, absolutely. The more people, the better, because maybe somebody did a free group and was like, who is this girl? Second time did a free group and they're like, holy crap, I want to join this girl. Maybe the third time I did a free group and they're like, I need to add in some of my friends to do this with me. So I just leave it open. Yeah, for sure. Love it. Let's see. Anything else? Here's that's my Instagram. I don't know if there is a Facebook group for Slay Squad. I'll have to ask Alyssa. But it's mega change today. So like, I don't know why I just took like, I'm ready to mega change. And then I like made it mega change and someone else had it. So I had put today behind it. So, but yeah, that's me. So, all right, perfect. Okay. Anything else? Last minute stuff. I love you guys hanging out on here with me. I see all 127 of you just hanging out on here with me. It's perfect. You guys are probably all teachers like super tired. Make a change today. Yes. Yes, for sure. Go and make a change. All right, perfect. Okay, so if you guys have questions, probably the easiest way for me to get to you is Instagram, because if it's Facebook, it's like requests, and I think I usually just like delete it because it's always like creepy people. So Instagram, if you have a question, just shoot it to me over there. I'll check it. I know it sounds funny, but like for real. But yeah, if you need anything else, I will figure out where to post all this fun stuff for you guys. Thank you for staying on. I know I just talked for like ever. I'm gonna stop the recording. Hopefully this stop cloud record.